Fellas, Marriage is not your favorite romantic comedy starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I'm Brian Bandis, and this is The Married Man.
Time to put on your big boy pants.
All right, boys, let's get to business. This is The Married Man, where we talk about what matters most, and that is bringing your absolute best as a husband and as a father. Now, when I say your marriage is not a romantic comedy, let me tell you what I mean. I'm talking about making your decisions and basing your actions solely on your emotions. So I remember this conversation that I had. I was probably about 21 or 22 with my uncle, and he's been married a long time now. I asked him about his marriage and how he knew that my aunt was the right one for him. And his answer was surprisingly practical. Well, we wanted the same things in life, and our goals were aligned, and we were sort of heading the right direction, or heading the same direction, that type of thing. His answer was not sappy at all, and I was a little sappy. I like romance. And so I was actually a little disappointed, a little put off by this answer that sort of distilled this marriage down to this really practical decision almost. And he didn't say anything about, oh my gosh, like when I saw her, I just melted and there were stars and all this stuff. It was just, oh man, we have the same values and we want the same things, and she's a really awesome partner and that type of thing. And so initially that really bothered me, and I couldn't quite digest that because I wanted it to be like a real life version of, The Notebook or something. I know, I'm corny. But here's what I've learned since then. It's not that the emotions are bad, and it's not that there should be none. I know that my uncle has felt the feeling of love for my aunt. I know that. The problem is that we also know that the heart is deceitful. We know that emotions fluctuate, sometimes wildly and sometimes based on very little. Emotions are notoriously untrustworthy, particularly when it comes to our emotions dictating our actions. So our emotions do play an important role. They basically tell us what's important to us. If I'm sad, my emotions are telling me, hey, something isn't the way you hope it is, and I can learn, oh, here's why I'm sad, because I want this in my life and it's missing. So our emotions do have immense value. In fact, I recommend you check out a book called The Voice of the Heart, which helps us understand when we're feeling certain emotions, what are they trying to tell us? I'm sad, I'm experiencing loss, I'm experiencing loneliness. What can I take away from that? But we see in little kids, they experience an emotion like sad or angry, and they do what? They throw a tantrum because they don't know what to do with that emotion. But we're grown-ups. We need to know what to do with these emotions, and we need to know that just because I feel angry, I feel sad, doesn't now entitle me to pitch a fit in some adult form. I hear so many people talk about, I just wasn't feeling it anymore. I ended the relationship because I had fallen out of love, right? That type of idea. But the reality is that those emotions are often the result of our actions, and we don't realize that. We think I fell out of love as if it's this external thing that happened to me, when the reality is I wasn't watering my grass. I wasn't tending to my garden. So if you aren't feeling it, I feel for you. That's hard, and everyone has been there. I would challenge you and I would say, hey, that doesn't signify the end of something. You haven't been, knocked out of the cloud of love. You haven't fallen out of love in some way that you can't control, and now this magical feeling that was carrying you has abandoned you. That's not how it works. If you're not feeling it, here's the truth that was a real game changer. And that was the reality that our actions can create emotions. It doesn't have to be vice versa. Our actions can create emotions. If you've ever heard of or read the book, The War of Art, it's talking about, the book is written to creative people, writers, painters, musicians, but really it would extend past that to anyone who's trying to accomplish something, right? You're building a business, whatever it may be. And it uses the term pro. If you're a pro, here's what you do. And in particular, it talks about if you're a pro, then you show up and you write every single day, regardless of how you feel. If you're a pro, you go to the gym on the schedule you committed to, regardless of if you're feeling it that day. If you're a pro in your marriage, you show up and you invest in your marriage with your actions, regardless of how you feel that day. And what that means is staying patient, being kind, having good communication, engaging, showing love to that person based on what you know to be their love language and how they receive love. And the beauty is, If you are purposeful in those actions, it will have an effect on your feelings. The problem is that most people wait to feel some special way, and then once I feel it, then I'll let that dictate my actions, instead of taking the initiative to tend to their garden, right? To invest in their relationship, knowing that over time, that will have a positive effect on their emotions. So I'm gonna say it one more time. Your actions create feeling, and they create emotions. You take action first, and that emotion and feeling will follow. So if you're not feeling it right now, ask yourself, what can I do to invest in this relationship? What action can I take? It might be as simple as, hey, go into the room where your wife is and sit with her and ask her some questions that you genuinely want to know. How was your day? You know, what went well? What was difficult? And just actually listen. Have the courage and the discipline and the strength. And we talk about this all the time, bringing strength to our family and strength to our marriage. Here's how you can do it. Be purposeful in your actions, regardless of what your emotions are telling you that day. Your commitment to your marriage is not an emotion-based thing. Have the strength to follow through on that commitment, and have the faith to know that if you follow through with your actions and you invest, it will pay off. And here's all I ask, guys. If you are getting something out of these videos, if they are somehow making you a better man, a better husband, a better father, then click that little subscribe button down below. I post 2 videos a week here at The Married Man. And if you subscribe, you'll get those videos and you'll be challenged and encouraged to become the kind of husband and the kind of father that I know that you want to be. I'll see you in a couple days.